I'm Dharani from Food Tech Department of K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology. Today we are going to see about the topic on food safety and global trade. The first is World Health Organization. The World Health Organization ensures the food safety. So the first slide is history of WHO. WHO was a French organization and it is formed by United States of America in 1948 to provide the international cooperation for private sectors and public health conditions. And the next, the International Sanitary Conference was held in 1938, which ensures further sanitary practices on food safety and global trade. Next, the legal formed in 1920 has confirmed the National Organization Leagues of Nations. Then, after World War II, the United States of Nations formed World Health Organization to ensure the food safety and global trade. The operational fleets of WHO, the WHO operates in every fields of the nations, which mainly includes, it involves in communicable disease like malaria, diarrhea, and then cholera, and then emergency measures to assist government trusts and territories to standardize the biological and immediate needs of the government and to improve the standards of medical testings, and then public health administrative techniques, scientific research, statistical data pertaining to the health, then central information about the health issues, and collaboration with the governmental health administration and cooperation with intergovernmental organization. The next is main functions of WHO. WHO even operates in various fields of the nation, but the main objective of the WHO is to provide the leadership on matter of health and other perspectives, and to shape the research agenda and stimulate the generation, translation, and dissemination of very valuable knowledges, and to set the norms and standard to promote the health issues, and to articulate the ethical and evidence-based knowledge and policy options, and to provide the technical support, catalyze the changes, and build sustainable institutional capacity of various countries, to promote and monitor the health situation and assess the health trends. While focusing the main goals of WHO, the main 8 goals were be significant as can be classified as UN Minimum Declaration, which was agendaed in September 2000 by 191 UN countries, which was signed with WHO, and this MDG are independent and fully focused on health issues. The first MDG is to eradicate the extreme poverty. As we know, the poverty is the first concern of the WHO. Due to the measures of WHO, it has been the underweight children has been reduced from 25% to 15%. This was the main target of WHO. While focusing on second objective, the second objective is to achieve universal primary education. The primary education is very important, so giving that is the main objective of WHO. Due to the efforts of WHO, 43 million students were enrolled in 2005 to 2020, and the illiteracy rate exceeded more than 120 million populations or around the world. While focusing on a third agenda, it is to promote the gender equality and empower the women. Build the capacity of WHO to identify the gender equality. This gender equality is mainly focused on working places and other governmental institutions to fill the gaps between the payment and health. It also provides the gender responsive policies and programs. The fourth objective is to reduce the child mortality. The death of the child can be defined as the child mortality, where this mortality rate was higher in the weaker nations and developing nations. So due to the efforts of WHO, this mortality rate has been reduced to 3.9% during the year of 2005 to 2022. This immunization means giving various vaccination to different countries, has been covered with 66% of the member states, which is among the 191 UN states. And the fifth objective is to improve the maternal health. Maternal health is giving the supplements and health supplements like folic acid and iron to the pregnant ladies. In the African region, this maternal health has been increased to 50% due to the efforts of WHO. Next is to combat the major disease like HIV, AIDS, malaria and other diseases. WHO treated more than 50 million people in the year of 2001, and it reduced the HIV infected peoples of 33%. While in 119 countries, the leprosy epidemic situation was eradicated, and smallpox was completely eradicated in India, and the vaccination has been provided to all the nations. Seventh objective is to ensure the environmental sustainability. Seeing this sustainability, the safe drinking water was provided by the WHO's efforts, and more than 70% of the world population is now getting the safer water. The final objective of the WHO is to establish the global partnership for development. In this global partnership, the public and the private sectors come together and increase the sustainability and the major income and genetic medicines of the middle-income peoples. It also focuses on lowest price in private sector, average from 15-16 higher than the reference and public sectors. So what is the role of WHO in food safety or food security? Due to this effort of WHO, it established INFOSAN. INFOSAN is International Food Safety Authority Networks, which mainly focus on managing the food safety and risk. WHO also identifies and stops the contaminated food products in the supply chain. And then it also provides a good food and nutritious diet to all the peoples in the world. This project is aimed to reduce 40% reduction in the underweight growth of the children under 5 years. It also reduces the low birth weight of 30%, and it also encourages mothers to feed breastfeeding for at least 6 months of this child of birth. So next topic is World Trade Organization. The first we have seen the World Health Organization, which is a major part of food security and food safety, and next organization is World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization is the only intergovernmental organization that has been working with other nations to provide the food security and global trade. The main function of the WTO is to regulate and facilitate the international trade between the nations. So, under this WTO, there are presently 164 members with covering the 98% of global trades. Well, seeing the history of WTO, this, as we know, the trading policy has been emigrated from the 3rd century BC. So, based on the trading system, after World War II, GATT, that is General Agreement of Trade and Tariffs, were formed, but it is later replaced by International Trade Organization, which was funded by International Monetary Fund, US government, and it gave birth to the WTO. So, Konja, she is the Director General of the WTO, who is a Nigerian, and the location of the WTO was in Geneva, Switzerland, and it is formed in 1995, which was formed due to the Hungarian round negotiation. Next is the primary functions of WTO. The primary functions of WTO was building trade capacity, dispute settlement and trade negotiations. The objectives was to set and enforce the trades for international trades, to form forum for negotiating, to resolve dispute settlements, transparency of decision making, cooperate with major international economics, and to develop the developing countries. And this is the organization structure of the WTO. The first is Ministerial Conference, under which General Council was formed, and this General Council consists of GATT, Council of Trade and Goods, and Council of Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights, Council of Trade and Services. The main agreements of WTO was, the agreement first is Agreement on Agriculture, which increases the market orientation in agricultural feed, and it also provides the commitment for least developing countries on for reducing the trades and tariffs on agricultural goods. The second is Agreement on Textiles. Due to the efforts of WTO, the tax implied on the textiles has been reduced due to the multi-fiber agreement on 1974. Then is Agreement on Manufactured Goods. Due to the efforts of WTO, the manufactured goods has reduced on tariffs of 40%. The next is Agreements of Trade Related Investment Measures. This is for national treatment of foreign investment, and this also specially focus on general elimination of qualitative restriction and quantitative restrictions. Next is Agreement of TRIPS, which is Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights, which is related to copy and patents. By seeing that if you got the protection, it is valid for 20 years for patent, whereas 50 years for copyrights. Then is General Agreements of Trades and Services. This is one of the important aspects of WTO, which mainly focus on multilateral frameworks of principles and services, which mainly works under the condition of transparency and liberalization. Next is the main function in the body of the WTO's dispute settlement body, which is called as DSB, which provides the security and predictability to multilateral system, and it is under this WTO, it is mandatory to settle any dispute within the 16 months. So it mainly works on pre-shipment inspections, rules of origin, import licensing, anti-dumping measures, countervailing duties, safeguards and subsidies. Thank you.